everyone. First off, I want to thank CoinGeek for having me as a presenter, and I'm very excited to be a part of this conference. And what a conference it's been. Again, my name is Lance Morginn, and I'm the co-founder and president of Blockchain Intelligence Group. So we are known as BIG, have been in business now for over 5 years and headquartered in Vancouver, Canada. We are a publicly traded company, which has offered further comfortability for some of our clients, being that we are audited and have that extra accountability. Our services have been designed by industry experts that reference the highest regulatory standards globally, being FATF and Basel, when designing our system. One of our mandates is data and data integrity. And since we've been in business for only 5.5 years, we've partnered with third-party companies that have been collecting addresses found on the dark web and surface web back to 2011, allowing us to make up for data and attribution previous to us collecting our own. So besides being in North America, we have account executives in Asia, in Europe, allowing us to serve clients globally. Our compliance suite currently offers and it comes in 4 languages: English, French, Japanese, and Mandarin. And so how do cryptocurrencies become more available to people and we get mass adoption? Well, it first starts with regulators getting comfortable with how this technology can be tracked. Obviously, having an immutable ledger is a great start, but it also requires all of the other detection measures that a company like BIG brings to the table. Law enforcement needs to know that they can perform their investigations when nefarious acts occur, and that the evidence can be laid out in a fashion that allows for someone to be able to follow the flow of funds without being too technical. It also provides the ability for the financial industry to get clarity on where a client's crypto funds are coming from and if they've been involved in any illicit or nefarious activity. And with this knowledge and understanding, the regulators will know that one can get insight into a pseudo-anonymous environment, allowing them to define regulation, and in turn providing further education and awareness in their country. And as people hear about crypto more and more, people get comfortable that this new form of currency can be trusted, which then fosters greater adoption, which is good for the industry as a whole. So this is why we're excited to be the first analytics company to provide the necessary services for Bitcoin SV to thrive in areas where regulation exists and or is coming. So where have we come in the last decade regarding adoption of cryptocurrencies from a regulatory perspective? Well, as you can see, in 10 years, we've come a long way. Quite a few countries have regulation. Others are still in development. And there are still a few that have not implemented any or banned crypto altogether. But it's services like ours that will continue to foster adoption, and we've always been excited to help shape and empower this new financial system. From a product and services standpoint, we initially launched QLUE, which stands for Qualitative Law Enforcement's Unified Edge. This service offers full understanding of all transactions that an address has performed and shows the other addresses that it has interacted with, what types of association they might have had with the different types of individuals and entities. Our financial services is called BitRank Verified. This service offers risk scoring for addresses and transactions. So you could think of it kind of like an Equifax or a TransUnion in the fiat world, but for crypto. Next is our Certified Cryptocurrency Investigator course, which offers a wide range of information, allowing somebody to be brought up to speed on the intricacies about cryptocurrencies and empowers an individual to be able to perform their duties. We offer forensic services to both law enforcement, the legal industry, corporations, individuals, when they might not have the capabilities in-house or need an unbiased third-party corporation to perform in an investigation. Our lead investigator is recognized at the federal level in the United States as an expert witness testimony provider regarding cryptocurrencies, and we have worked some very high-profile cases. We also have created a portal, which is a free service called the Crypto Fusion Center, and this brings together law enforcement in the financial world to allow the submission of blacklisted and nefarious addresses. Members are vetted before being onboarded. We want to make sure that all submissions are valid. And we view this service as our social responsibility contribution. The earlier we can catch an illicit actor in their tracks, the more likely the funds can be retrieved. So I'm going to talk about BitRank Verified and the valuable information that it can offer that allows compliance officers the ability to quickly clear and close or escalate for further review or the filing of a suspicious activity report. As I was saying earlier, data, and we are known for the granularity of our information that we are providing. So when we first see an address, it gets a score of 50. And this would fall under our low risk category. The reason why it is classified as low risk is that it has not performed any transactions that allow us to start to build up a character profile about the type of individual or entity that controls that address. BitRank Verified currently supports BSV, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, all ERC20 tokens, Litecoin, Stellar, and Lumens. We'll continue to add cryptocurrencies that are in demand from our client base. Here, you can see a BitRank score for a BSV address. This address shows that it's related to Plenix and that this address has been sanctioned by OFAC, which is the Office of Foreign Asset Control. Certain types of nefarious activity will cause an address to be forced score of 0. So that would be any sanction address, any terrorism address, and any address that has had interaction with child exploitation. You can see on the left a breakdown of what you'd see in a traditional block explorer. So how much crypto it holds, number of transactions, how much was sent and received, when it was first seen, last seen, and what blocks the address were seen in. We also display a number of inputs and outputs against our scoring mechanism against each transaction, which will allow a compliance officer to quickly ascertain how many transactions were high risk, medium risk, and low risk or above. That said, compliance officers like to have as much visibility when something looks suspicious, and when that occurs, one can go inside QLUE to investigate further. So we also take into consideration how many transactions have occurred, the age of the account, what types of entities or services the address has interacted with. Has the address received money from a mixer, or has it been interacting with a gambling website, which could be of some concern to clients? Where has it been on the surface web, the dark web? What has it been associated with? Now, we do have our own in-house OSINT team, which stands for Open Source Intelligence Team, on 2 continents. So we are looking for addresses 16 hours a day in social media, YouTube, on the surface web, and the dark web. Now, of course, also we have the Crypto Fusion Center portal, which feeds into our database. There are a number of proprietary things designed that define how a score is affected after a transaction that we'd be happy to discuss in more detail with anyone that's interested in our services. BitRank can also be embedded in other applications such as traditional AML services, KYC services, wallets, cold storage solutions, point-to-sale devices, and more. Our API delivers results in 150 milliseconds and can handle over 200 million a day or 7 billion a month. So we can take pretty much the world here. So depending on how you set up the service, you can automate and set configurable thresholds to auto accept and proceed with a transaction or rejecting it. Meaning, before you display a deposit address, you would have the client enter the address when the funds are coming from, and if it meets your AML requirements, you would then display a deposit address to the client. You would also review a transaction to make sure the client did not include any additional addresses when making that transaction, so that it might not, meet your regulatory requirements. This also demonstrates to the regulator that you're doing end-to-end review process and you have something in place. So with this, you are implementing assurance and peace of mind that you're running a service that allows you to meet your local licensing requirements. Our customers can access their query history via our compliance portal. Now, we did this to allow clients to be up and operational with their services as fast as possible while keeping the integration costs down. The history page allows to view queries that were made by different users through the portal, as well as the queries made by their APIs. We also offer the ability where clients can label their wallets, and that makes it easier to identify which addresses are their own in the reports and results. Now, these labels are only viewable by the client and not added to our commercially available data. This page also shows the labels, the addresses or transactions, depending upon which you're displaying, who or what made the query, date and time, BitRank score, and it'll identify if there were any flags or entities associated with it, and the ability to create an EDD report. Up in the top left, you can switch to the history from addresses to transactions to EDD reports. Here are some examples of when somebody scrolls over the flag notification. You can quickly see that it is an exchange. It's had transactions over 10,000. The address was associated with a Bitfinex hack, sent money to the dark market. This address is also controlled by Huobi. We have seen it on Payspin. It's also sent money to Binance and sent money to BitMEX. Now, if you wanted to create an EDD report, which is an enhanced due diligence report, you can do that via the portal or via the API. Inside the zip file are two files, the first being a PDF and the other being a CSV. The PDF, when it identifies when and who created the report, lists the address and the BitRank score at the time of generating the report. The paragraph has information in the same format that is required when filing an STR or a SAR, allowing quicker filing. The rest of the report will break down in order 100 of the most recent transactions. Now, we don't display anything further than the 100 in the PDF to keep the file size down. The second file is a CSV, and this will list all the transaction hashes, date, time, units being transferred, dollar amount, flags and entities, allowing a compliance officer to sort things in whichever fashion they may choose. And this is another component that compliance officers like because it's in similar format to what they've seen in the fiat world, if that's been their background. The user interface also offers CSV upload and download for all previous queries, address watch, which allows someone to create a group to then add a single address or multiple addresses. You can then specify what can cause a trigger, from large transactions to transactions that are transacting with the dark web, or an address that or a transaction that if the score changes because of it and drops to an area of risk that can offer further concern. Some of the things I didn't cover in our extended view based on time is entity, flag exposure, temporal patterns, balance over time, and the ability to add notes and more. So, we try to make this as comprehensive as possible to cover all aspects needed to make informed decisions quickly. So for any organization seeking confidence that funds being received and not originate from an illicit, immoral, or unethical sources, then BitRank is for you. And now for QLUE. So this is where things get really exciting, especially for those who have not seen money pass for other monetary systems. So QLUE allows you to follow the money behind crypto transactions. It lays out transactional information in an easy to understand format that allows and offers the ability to change the layout from transaction block to transaction level to directional hierarchy. And more. So QLUE currently supports BSV, BTC, BCH, ETH, ERC20, and LTC, allowing to follow addresses, wallets, transactions, and entities through clustering and heuristics and more. QLUE's interface is so intuitive that we've been told to onboard someone requires minimal instruction. Another thing that we've done to make onboarding easy is we have video tutorials directly in the platform. We also have our manual that explains each service, feature, filter. We do this so people have all the answers at their fingertips. Of course, we're here to support at any time as well. With regards to Address Watch, one thing I didn't mention is that you are able to upload CSV and make a group of that and attach an alert profile or profiles to it. So let's say you have a group of high net worth individuals that bank with you, and you want ongoing monitoring. This will save time when setting things up. Our case file management system allows to have the case private or shared with someone else in your company, or with the company as a whole. It just depends on how you want that exposure to be. Filters are key depending upon what you're looking for to expedite investigations. Besides date and time, transaction ID, address amount, a few other things that I mentioned here are filtering by direction, attribution with entities, or attribution by flags, and even by connections between addresses. We've spent a lot of time listening to our clients to find out what they find of value. And so here's an example of our graph. The yellow circles are addresses, yellow and green squares are transactions, and the purple circle is our clustering heuristics, identifying a group of addresses being controlled by an individual and or entity. You can see that there are some lines that don't display the units or dollar amount being transferred in or out of a cluster, but instead show how many transactions are within. And these are easy to expand, but we do this to keep the graph as clean as possible and leave it up to the user to expand them. A yellow transaction or address means there are more transactions that can be displayed. It allows you to visually see the transactions, and you can go back and forward as many hops as you'd like. You'll notice that besides showing the amount of crypto that is being transferred, we also show the dollar value. Currently, we can display in Canadian, US, Euro, and Yen. Again, it's about laying out the information in a user-friendly manner. One of our competitive edges is our interface. So I've not provided screenshots of everything, and I have not talked about other features and filters that we have. There are a handful of other providers offering services like ours, and we're trying to be different by making our services easy to use, have the features that are needed, and offered at an affordable price. So if either service, BitRank or QLUE, or combined, is something of interest to you, we are offering a 30% discount to the CoinGeek conference attendees when a 2-year agreement is signed. And we have some of the lowest rates in the industry, and we're just as effective. So if you're law enforcement, a government agency, a regulator, a financial institution, an exchange, or an ATM operator, and if you're in need of a visual forensic platform, QLUE is for you. As we've been traveling the globe, we're getting requests from regulators, banks, and law enforcement to provide training. The demand was so high, we didn't have the manpower to service the needs. So this course took countless hours and over actually 8 months to construct. And we've delivered a very polished educational platform. We deliver the content in 5 modules that'll take 6 to 8 hours to complete. Within each module, you will find audio tracks and video interviews to not only make the content more engaging, but also help someone retain the information that we're trying to convey. We've had over 500 people take this course with glowing reviews. Check them out on our website. Usually it's $1,000, just under. But the first time ever, we're offering a 60% discount for this conference attendees. So you can get this training for just under $400. Enter the code BSV60 at checkout. You'll get this discount. This code is only valid until October 10th. From day of payment, you'll have 1 year access, even if you pass the final exam. So, if you don't have time to start it in the next 10 days, sign up and you'll be able to access it again for a year. So take advantage of this amazing discount. We also have lots of testimonials you'll find on the site. So if you're interested, please go check out cryptoinvestigatortraining.com. The next module is being added late this month, in October, and is advanced crypto analytics. And anyone that has become a CCI member will also get a discount on future modules that are released. And please visit blockchaingroup.io for more information. Email me to talk with one of our product specialists. Thank you, everyone, for attending my presentation. And thank you again, CoinGeek, for having me as a presenter. And I look forward to speaking with anyone that is interested. Thank you and take care.